Hello, people of Earth. It's me. Yes, you know me, Alexis. And it's time for the best podcast of your life. Are you ready? All right. So, I am here coming to you from National Public Radio. Mm, 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 mm. I made that up. All right. So today we are going to talk about classical music, the classical music area. One of my favorite areas of music because in school I play the cello and we play a lot of classical music. So I was like, oh, may as well do the classical music era. All right. So to start, is some information on the classical music era. So the classical music era was roughly from 1730 to 1820. Now that's a long time. That's almost 100 years. It's, let's see, 90 years actually. And it falls right between the eras of Baroque and the Romantic period. But the classical music period has a lighter and clearer texture than Baroque, and it's very less complex than that. So it's very different actually. That's what makes it so weird, and I like it. It really makes me feel calm sometimes. It's mainly homophonic, using a clear melody line over subordinate chordal accompaniment, but counterpoint was by no means forgotten, especially later in the period. So that's a lot of information, right? I know, but it's gonna get really easy. So we have different instruments in the classical, like the harpsichord, which is like a old time piano. You can look that up later. And then you have stuff. Okay, so you have the harpsichord. You have of course pianos that were like with strings back then. Then you had let's see, you had violins, cellos, violas. You had pianos, flutes, and just instruments accompanied by orchestras. It'd be mainly an orchestra, or you have a singer. You can even have an opera singer in there. So some history on the classic era. So since it falls right between Baroque and Romantic, so we're transferring from Baroque to classical. And that's from about 1730, 1760. And Baroque mostly comes from improvised ornaments that it's very different. So I'm gonna read you a quick thing real quick. So it'll see. So at the first new style took over Baroque forms, uh, classical music was composed with simpler parts and more noted ornamentation. So that's basically what it is. And then you had, it was more of a lighter kind of tone, and people started coming in with things that were totally different than Baroque. Like you had Thomas Hardy in 1792, who wrote things like that, or Mozart in 1819. And Mozart is definitely something we've studied before. Actually, my orchestra just got through playing Mozart Symphony number 29. It was really hard, actually. I'm going to play you some Mozart so you can hear what it sounds like. 1 second. This is the Prelude and Fugue in C major. Hear that? There's piano. Hear that light tone? So beautiful. If you're wondering where I am, I'm actually in my recording studio, aka my bedroom. It's very nice. It's going up. Also with Mozart in this piece is Gunther Hasselmann. Hmm. All right, you like that? I liked it. It was really cool. All right, so classical music really has a big impact on our world today because we still use it. Like Mozart's music, and since it fell between Baroque and Romantic, it's before we switch on to Romantic. It's like a way of just lightening the feel of your music as it going down. And Mozart and Beethoven and Hummel, all these great musicians. All these great musicians came together. Well, they were actually at different times, but they wrote these pieces and it just changed the world. We still use Mozart's music today. It's so cool. Well, I hope you like that. I really like classical music, and that is all I have for you today. So thank you, and salutations to all. Mm, 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 mm.